What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Nevin the Barber, and in today's YouTube tutorial we're going to be going over a burst fade with curls on top. And in this burst fade we are going to take it a little bit higher than usual. You guys can see that I started it right at the top of the point of reference on my client, so there is going to be no hooks in this burst fade. The hooks will be faded out. It'll just be the box. So you guys can see that I didn't curve this first guideline. I made a straight 90-degree angle. And this first guideline is going to determine how the rest of your guys' fade lays out. So make sure that you get it clean and consistent all throughout the scalp. So after I have my bald line established, I'll go over it with my skin shaver. This shaver right here I'm using is the Bronze Series 9, just to ensure that I get it all the way down to the skin. And now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and open the lever on my Gamma Ergos. So we are now cutting the hair down to a 0.5 length. And we're going to bring up this guideline about an inch right above our bald skin line. And I'm not going to blend out this guideline yet. We're going to follow it with the 1.5 guard all the way closed. So this is going to be our second guideline. In the haircut we have our 0.5, and now we're creating our 1.5 closed. And after I create this guideline, I'm going to go ahead and use the comb to do some clip over comb. And what this is doing is blending the 1.5 guard into the parietal ridge area. And I really like using this technique because it'll save you guys going through the other guards. For example, the 4, the 3, and the 2 guard. You guys can skip all those steps just by doing clipper over comb. Just be sure to roll out that comb whenever you guys do it. And now we're going to erase our middle guideline with the half guard all the way open. And this is basically blending the 0.5 guideline into the 1.5 guideline. And little by little you guys will just have to close your lever to blend out that middle section. And every client is going to be different depending on their hair texture, so just be patient with it as you guys are running the clipper through your client's scalp. And now I went ahead and put on the 1.5 guard all the way open, just to detail any last dark areas that I saw on the top of my fade. Whenever I cut hair, I only like to use the 1.5 guard and the half guard. I don't ever use the 1 guard or any other guards as far as achieving my blend. But you guys can see that with these few simple steps, I was able to achieve a nice clean fade. And to finish off this fade, I'm going to go ahead and close the lever all the way with no guard. So this is now cutting the hair down to a 00. And I do have my clippers 0 gapped, so this makes this part of the fade right here a lot easier, just because the clippers can cut all the way down to the skin. And I'm just going to open up the lever 1 notch at a time, and we're going to keep attacking that bottom guideline. And as soon as we open the lever all the way, our blend should be complete. We're just going to go back and detail a few more areas, but for the most part our blend will be done. And you guys can see I'm just using the corner of my blade to knock out any last dark areas that I see. I personally like to use the corner of my blade rather than using the full blade on the scalp. And basically it just makes the job easier because you guys can disperse out the hair a little bit easier. So now with that we have our fade complete, I'm gonna go ahead and line up my client on his side before I edge him up in the front. And I always like to do the razor lineup on the side before I clean up the front hairline. But before we line up the front, I am gonna clean up the back nape area of my client. And every time I do a burst fade, I do like to do the V-shape on the back. I personally think The V-shape makes the haircut pop out more on the back and for the sides when you guys are looking at the blend. But a haircut is all about symmetry and ensuring that you guys get clean guidelines on both sides. So you guys can see that I went ahead and kept both guidelines underneath the occipital bone while connecting it to my client's ear. And I'm just gonna go over that guideline one more time. You guys can see how it pops when you look at it from the side. And then right here, I'm just doing some detail work with no guard lever open. Basically, I'm just doing lever play right here. What that is just messing around with the lever wherever I see dark areas throughout my fade that need to be erased. And the more you guys cut hair, the more you'll start to build an eye for identifying certain spots like this. For the beginners, you know, that just got in the industry, just be patient with it. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating when you first start cutting hair, but you know, just take it one haircut at a time and use every client as another opportunity to, you know, perfect your craft. But if you guys have learned anything in this tutorial so far, please be sure to smash that like button and drop a comment if you guys want to see another tutorial. So now we're going to begin with the front line edge up, tapping his natural hairline while still creating a nice crispy lineup. And it's very important that you guys don't push your client's hairline back. That way their haircut can last as long as possible. And not only that, nobody likes to push back hairline, so just be sure that you guys are keeping that hairline right at the natural spot where it grows in. That I was able to get a nice crispy line. Of course, I do have my hitters zero gapped as well. If you guys want to check out these clippers, you can save a discount on them with my code Nevin10 on the Gamma website. So shout out to Gamma for always taking care of me. Now we're just gonna trim up the top of my client's hair. He just wanted about a ½ inch off with some texture on top to create some volume. So basically, you guys can see I'm just creating vertical subsections on the top of my client's apex. Now that we have that trimmed, I'm just gonna style his hair with the diffuser just to give it a little bit more volume. And at the end of all of my fades, I always like to go back doing some shear over comb. It's important that you roll that comb off of your client's parietal ridge just so you don't create any gashes on the top of their apex. And I do like to do point cutting as well. And I like using the shears at the end of my cut because it gives more of a softer cut on the hairs rather than using the clippers. Sometimes the clippers can leave a harsh, choppy cut. So I personally like to do my detail work with the shears. And after I do my shear work, of course, I'll go back with the clippers to corner work and polish my blend as well. I personally spend about 5 to 10 minutes to detail all my haircuts. Once I think they're complete, I'll just, like I said, do some shear over comb and polish my blend with the clippers just to get that blend as blurry as possible. And not only that, this will increase your guys' chances of retainment as far as building clientele and whatnot. So just be sure to go back and really try and get your clients as clean as you can. And for the razor lineup, it's always very important that you guys lean your client back so you can get that razor up against the grain of the scalp. And now I'm just using my Bronze Series 9 shaver one more time just to ensure that I knock down all those baby hairs down to the skin. And it is very important that you guys either use a skin shaver or the razor blade on your client's neck after every cut, just so you don't leave them with no no you know, baby hairs that didn't get cut when they leave your chair. But that is about it for today's haircut tutorial. If you guys learned anything in this video, again, please be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment if you guys want to see another tutorial, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. But again, thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Nevin the Barber, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next video.